And we are back.
For more blood churning goodness.
And guts and
glory.
Is everything gonna be goodness though? Because this is kind of badness.
He's not a bad guy.
He's not Nightmare King of goodness.
I mean, what has he done that's so bad?
He's tried to kill me. I know a little bit about his backstory too. Fumes filled me in a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah. Evidently,
he seems like a nice guy. I get a cup of coffee.
Just because he looks like a nice guy does not mean he is nice guy. I didn't jump high enough. Oh! Didn't pay attention to what I was doing. Whee! Gotcha.
It's funny, I was reviewing the footage of the animation I made that some of you guys will see eventually. I don't know when we're going to use it or implement it, but it'll be in videos at some point or sometime. I'm really happy with how that turned out. That's fun. It's a fun bit.
It didn't fucking hit. Oh no!
If you guys have seen our everything's burning to the ground interruption from our bully series, I did another.
I've used it in a couple other
series.
Too. Yeah.
I worked on another little animated short. When I say animated short, I mean 10 seconds.
10 seconds of 4 frames.
It's more.
That's the walk cycle, though.
Yeah, it's a walk cycle. It doesn't.
Oh no!
Need any more than that. Even that was still about 5-6 hours of work, something like that.
I'm not saying it was easy. I'm just saying if that's why you're saying it's not really animation, I'd be like, it's still animation, man. It's
no, yeah, it's still animation, but man,
still got frames to it.
Figuring out that walk cycle was, I don't love doing walk cycles. They're really hard for me.
I imagine that they would be not the funnest things in the world.
They're really great for telling character, but
damn it.
There's something about the left and the right foot that always throw me off. It's similar, I had to do a dog walk cycle in college. That was fucking hard.
Like a dog walking or somebody walking a dog?
Just a dog walking.
Not that it would be any easier either way.
It'd be even harder.
I just wanted to understand what the fuck it was.
No, it was a dog walking like a little puppy. So you had to
oh, damn it.
Getting the walk cycle down for that.
Yeah.
Incredibly difficult. And my teacher let us know. He's like, hey, this is going to be the hardest thing you do in class. We're like, cool.
That's reassuring. I mean, I guess if you finish it, it's reassuring that you got it done. Oh, shit. New form. Does he... Oh, that's right. He down dashes on that one.
A character running is almost a bit easier because it's such quick motions, but a walk cycle can sometimes be a lot of frames and can be very...
I could see that.
daunting.
The motion, the action... could be quicker because your eye's not catching it, whereas walking is slower, so you have to have more frames between each.
There's way more in between, so you have to really get that motion to work right. Whereas if it's running really quickly and it's on ones, you're like, oh man, it's going by so fast. Yeah, that looks about right. That foot was down, the other foot wasn't down. It's fine.
There's no feet on the ground. He's just flipping around.
Yeah, I have ideas for another little animated short I'm going to start working on. I started doing some sketches. Of the characters I'm gonna put in. It'll probably be a 30-second animation, but we'll see.
For
the video you sent me a while back about doing a
yeah, special animation.
Special animation.
Yeah, that would be cool to see.
I still plan on doing closet Krillins at some point. I still feel like that's one of our best jokes.
I'd agree. Closet Krillins. I'm not gonna get the hit on this one.
No, you're not.
Closet Krillins would be fucking fun to see, dude. I'd like to see that joke. Ah! What do I do there? I guess it's just don't stand next to the edge as best as possible.
Pretty much. When it came down, we've had the idea for the animated thing that I did for a while, but it was funny because we had talked about it, I was really excited, but then we got really busy with other stuff, and it just kind of fell to the wayside, and then, I think it was on Sunday, and this is how it usually goes for me when it comes to art, I was playing a game going, you know what, I should be doing something productive, because I don't feel productive at all. So then I just started working on it straight for 6 hours. Just
that's right. You came out of the room and you were like, hey, so you remember that animation that we were talking about? And I was like, which one? And you were like, the one I'm done with? I'm like, what?
Yeah, I don't give Chris any indication usually when I'm working on things. I just kind of come out occasionally and be like, hey, so I need you to look at this. And be like, what? I'm like, yeah, so I finished it. I just decided all of a sudden I kind of wanted to work on it. And here it is.
Focus, Chris. Focus.
I really enjoy making art, but it does have to sometimes be finding the motivation sometimes is difficult.
I get that.
To jump into a project because you know it's so much work and you know you're going to enjoy it, but I also know that animating is very hard.
fuck yeah. I know what you're talking about with the projects and stuff. It's
Yeah.
like, if something I know is going to take a while, it's like, I need 8 hours to sit and not fucking do anything other than that in order to get it done. Where it's like, oh, this is going to take 8 hours to do. I have an hour. I'm not going to fucking start on it because I'm like, I'm not going to fucking get anything done.
Yeah. It is one of those things. If I start on an art piece, I need at least a 4-hour set of time to work on it. If someone's like, hey, you have like 3 hours before it's about time to start getting ready for bed, I'm going to go, unless it's a commission, unless I'm being paid for
I
it,
should have dashed.
typically I will hold off and not work on it right then and there. I mean, it depends on where I'm at in the stage. Usually when it comes to doing illustrations, the sketch part is initially fun. You're like, oh, cool, this would be a fun idea. And it's also challenging because you're trying to think of how to do something different than what you've done before, and while still making it interesting.
I could see that being a fucking challenge where you're like, shit, how do I what's the word I'm looking for here? How do I like retake what I learned and what I knew and then make it into something that's challenging
And make it so it
and
isn't
cool
the same as all of my other pieces. Like, I'm always looking at ways to improve my perspective or improve my background work, because I never did a lot of that in my early 20s, and I've tried to make that a bigger focus and making backgrounds a larger part of it. But I come down to being lazy as well. I don't want to be like Tight Kubo, like a Bleach, who does no background work. But
Is there no background in Bleach?
he starts out with some backgrounds, but as the manga goes on and as he gets more and more exasperated with making the series and like the way the editors are controlling the vision and the drive and the push of it, he does less and less background work over time. That's not a knock on him. His character designs are still really good, and his character.
I thought I haven't seen any of Bleach, but I thought the
outfits.
character outfits and everything were pretty cool.
He's a really good character designer in terms of like fashion for his characters' outfits. Great for that.
Don't most of them wear like loose, like draping?
They do, but he
in
has
like
a lot of
Japanese style of like kimono type deal.
Yeah,
Or
most of the
whatever
characters do wear that, but I'm talking more so in the manga, he would do spread panels like, hey, it's for this issue, and draw the characters in different outfits. And he just has a very good sense of fashion and how to draw clothing.
That's useful.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was able to go into the fashion industry, honestly, with his anime. Even though he's though he's an anime artist.
We need a fashion and anime fashion week.
Yeah, why not?
I'd watch it. I mean, it can't be any stupider than the shit that we got now.
Yeah, it's true. When I'm making a piece, very much so, the initial start of it, I have to get very excited about it mentally, because there's always other things I want to do, like, for instance,
Monster Hunter World!
Monster Hunter World, or I want to play a little bit of Dragon Ball Fighters, or I gotta spend time with a girlfriend, or...
I mean, you don't gotta spend time with a girlfriend.
I want to spend time
You could just spend it with me.
No, I spend it I want to spend time with a girlfriend. I like spending time with a girlfriend.
I don't know, man. I
she's
thought I'd
pretty
be able to
cool.
get over it.
But there's so many things pulling me in different directions, not to mention work and then life stuff. So a lot of it's all about that mental fortitude and getting into the groove. And I always tell my students, hey, you're gonna have artist block, and it sucks, but sometimes you gotta push through it. But when you do hit inspiration and you kind of get that groove, you get really excited, like, yeah, I can do this. And eventually you get through a project and be like, nah, this ain't working, yo, I gotta abandon this. This ain't panning out.
This isn't my best work.
I've had a couple of illustrations
I ran too far.
where I had grand ambitions for them, and then I did them, got halfway through, inked it all. There's one that always sticks out in my mind.
Yeah.
I had this like throne area of a succubus and a couple of other like really powerful monsters, but my drawing skill wasn't at the level that I wanted to. This is probably when I was 23, 24.
Really?
And I did.
Is it real quick before you go further? Is that kind of where you went to when you did that throne? The one that you said
I was kind of thinking of
was
that
kind
at
of
the time,
perspective-y?
Yeah, kind of perspective-y, but the problem is I could never figure out the perspective, and I wasn't happy with how that turned out. So I spent 6 hours, 7 hours inking it and doing all the illustration work and designing all the
It
characters.
just never came out.
And then I just said, this looks bad. It's not good. It's not interesting. It's kind of boring. The character designs aren't that fun. So I just shelved it. And it's just one of those things. I have a bunch of illustrations that start off have good sketches or ideas that just never make it past the cutting room floor because they don't have enough.
That's kind of not a shitty thing, but I mean, it's kind of like something that I always assumed artists had a lot of problems with to have to deal with, like, fuck, I want this one thing to be this, but I don't know how to go about it, and then they just kind of have to drop it, and then they get to look at their old sketchbooks and be like, yep, failed project. And it's like, that's gotta be hard. Like, I already look at some of our videos. God damn it, I know I shouldn't have fucking been hit by that. It's my own fucking stupidness going on right now.
But yeah,
to look at it and be like, God damn, that would have been really cool if I could get it to go, but couldn't get it to go because...
One of my friends, he published a comic book not too long ago. It was fairly successful, but it's been 4 years, and he posts on Instagram, hey, time to start working on volume 2, that thing I had a contest for to design characters.
Oh, that's right, yeah, you're talking about that, huh?
Yeah, so life gets in the way, and just inspiration, doing something while still having to work and do your own stuff is really difficult.
Oh, I jumped too fast.
But yeah, there's plenty of files of illustrations where I don't ever finish them. But I just recently did something for my brother, and this kind of goes into what I'm going to talk about, problem solving. Most of art, as the mighty Bruce Timm has once said, who is one of the co-creators of Batman the Animated Series, art is problem solving.
Yeah.
More so than skill and talent, working in animation, being an artist, being an illustrator is problem solving. Like, you have a thing that you want to draw. How do you do it?
Yeah, how do you turn the image in your head onto paper adequately enough to where you feel satisfied?
Or how do you take what a client is giving you?
Yeah, that's got to be even harder.
And then trying to interpret what they actually want. For instance, my brother was doing a cover for a book that he's writing. He asked me to do an illustration for him. He hasn't commissioned a lot of artwork, and he's not a producer or anything, so he's not going to be very descriptive.
Makes sense, yeah.
Like a lot of people, they will give a very bland description, and your job as an artist is to extrapolate, hey, what does he actually want?
Yeah. He sees my artwork. What does he see within my artwork that would give him the idea that I can do what he's describing? Ah, shit.
So I'm always telling my students, it's all about problem solving, guys. It's not so much about if you're skilled or you're talented. It's about putting the effort forward and just trying to work through the problem. It's no different than when you're working through math or you're working through English or science. It's the same thing. Most of what middle school is trying to teach you is problem solving. We know you're not going to remember half the shit that you learn here. None of us do. We don't know what we learned in middle school history.
We have to take classes between fucking semesters also to figure out what the fuck it is that we were supposed to be teaching you guys.
There's no way you guys are going to remember it, and it's always changing. You'll remember maybe one or two things that you have an emotional attachment to that you really bonded with. It's the same thing when you read books in high school. How many books from high school do you remember that you read? You might remember 2 or 3 at most.
None of them.
Everything else is going to fall away. I just mean in terms of enjoying.
Oh, none of them?
Okay, well, you remember the ones you hated then the most, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So either that you hated or that you loved. For me, I really like Cyrano, Macbeth, and Fahrenheit 451.
The ones you're really passionate about.
The ones I really enjoy. And then I
move far enough there?
And I know I read Catcher in the Rye and Animal Farm, but other than that, I don't remember any of the books I read. I think we read Romeo and Juliet.
What'd you read? Captain Rye?
Catcher in the Rye.
Oh, Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah.
I was like, Captain Rye?
I thought you liked Catcher in the Rye.
I do, but I mean, like, it's not like the biggest deal to me. It's kind of phony.
Really?
No, it's because Holden Caulfield calls everything phony.
Oh yeah. See, I don't remember any of that.
Nah, I just remembered he kept calling everyone phony.
I remember at the end of the book, his teacher's watching him while he's sleeping on the couch, and he freaks out and just abandons the house.
That's right. There was like that, like, oh god, is he gonna touch me type thing? Something along that effect.
Yeah.
And I remember there's a hooker, and everybody was a phony, and the world was against him, and something like he was on a train or some shit.
I just remember the selling point for that book was everyone cusses. Like, oh!
I mean, yeah, it was a banned book for a reason.
Yeah.
Don't hit me. Don't hit me. Don't hit me. Don't be a dick.
But when I was working on the illustration for my brother, he gave me a very bland description of what he wanted, and I went through it going, okay. Now, luckily he's my brother, but I have to talk to him not like he's an idiot.
Yeah.
And try and get more information. For instance, what's the title of the book? That will help out a lot for what I'm working on. He gave me like, oh, hey, I want this kind of idea going forward. And one of the ideas was, hey, I want this big battle scene. I was like, okay, that kind of works, but not usually for a cover. For a cover, you want to see who the main character is. You want to set up some kind of mystery, some kind of intrigue for for what's kind of going on. Usually most book covers, it's a character.
Yeah.
Think of the Harry Potter
Or
books.
one of the I can't jump through his ass.
Yeah.
Or one of the like a crazy scene or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
that
or a
makes
crazy
sense.
scene. Or if it's a battle, it's a point where you can see both characters visibly, but then there's always a character that's hidden. But you make sure that your main characters are on the forefront. The only other time you see book covers is
Shit.
they're more graphic design wise, where say you were doing Fahrenheit 451, I did an illustration of that book where
I remember that. That was
there's a
pretty tight.
match under it and there's just a book burning inside of it. Like you can do covers like that, and that's really great. That can easily illustrate what you want. But if you're going for a more illustrated look,
Oh, I should have dashed through his ass.
you almost want to just give the people a taste of what they're kind of into, especially
Yeah.
with those fantasy books. Because when you're doing battle scenes, half the time characters' faces are covered, you're only seeing the back portion, and action in still images is very difficult to portray without having multiple images. There's a reason why comic books can do it. They have multiple panels.
Yeah.
They
It's
do
hard to
back.
show change through a single image.
Exactly.
It's hard to show motion through a single image. I mean, you can.
Yeah.
I don't know how to fucking go about it, but
And
you can.
We worked through it, and I kind of gave him a couple of sketches, but at the end of the day, sometimes when you're going with clients and when you're working with them, you will give them a couple of options like, hey, here's some ideas. You'll have more that you work through, but you know what they want / what you're capable of. So you give them what they ask for. Bottom line, you always give the client what they want.
Makes sense.
Even if you don't agree with it, you give them that, but then you can give them supplement materials. Like, hey, I know this was your idea, but I think that it would work out visually better if you go in this direction. Now, they're not always going to buy that. They're not always going to go for that. They are the one paying the bills.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it makes sense that
Yeah.
you're gonna have to like talk them through it because they're not artists. That's why they're hiring you.
that's why they're hiring you. That's the whole point.
Walked right too far.
I'm actually
into
doing
it.
a mentor for one of the high school students that I used to teach at, and he's working on a project for his senior project, and having to talk with him going, hey, I know you want to be really ambitious with this, but I know what it's like to have ambition. It gets sidetracked. So start small, plan it all out, do the smallest thing possible, because then you'll succeed. If you go, oh man, I want to do this grand ambitious thing, you know what's going to end up happening? You're not going to get it done. You're going to find out, hey, it's now May, I'm graduating in 2 weeks. Oh shit, what am I going to do? My project's not done yet. I needed to graduate.
Yeah, that's hard to tell a kid too.
It
It's
is
like-
hard. It's
'cause
from
they're-
life experience.
They're believers.
Yeah.
They're gonna want to think that like, no, I can do it. I see it in my head, and then you're like, it's 8 hours later when you're on paper and you only have fucking like one of the eyes done because you can't figure out how to make the other one match.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna be having some fucking anger
Struggle a little
issues.
bit. When I was in college, I did an animated short, and I made it pretty grand and ambitious. But like most of us, we never, no one in the class really got fully done.
Yeah.
They never finished the whole thing. I got it storyboarded, I got the scene done, and I managed to pull it back a bit. But when I was working on that project, I realized
I shouldn't have.
what seems like a small thing, which seems like 2 minutes of animation, that shouldn't be that long, right? That shouldn't be that much. That shouldn't be that much effort. And then you go and do it, and you go, "Oh my god, holy shit!" No wonder in Dragon Ball they have scenes where they're just standing there doing nothing, and they're just for when they make Goku laugh, they'll just shake the cell a little bit because, like, hey, why animate?
Their shoulders shake and that's it.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is?
It's not always laziness. It comes down to, holy god. This is a lot of animation. There's a reason why the Looney Tunes figured out the trick of, hey, one character's moving and the other characters are still, and then they react and then they do the same.
The same thing that Family Guy does a lot.
Except better.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, like, that's
Family
what people
Guy
make
is-
fun of it for.
Family Guy's notorious for it. The problem is Family Guy's animation is subpar, even when it is in motion, unless they're the chicken fights.
Yeah, and everyone loves the chicken fights.
chicken
I
fights
wonder
are super
why.
well animated.
Because they probably spent a month and a half on that shit.
I found it hilarious. I was watching a video on why adult humor gets it wrong in animation so often. They're trying to appeal to adults, but the only people that watch that animation are middle schoolers and high schoolers. When was the last
Really?
time you watched Family Guy?
I was... Probably like a
early
month
20.
ago.
Really?
I mean, like, I didn't watch it, like, religiously. I was just like, oh, it's on. I've
So in
seen
my
this
mid
episode
20s,
before.
I I enjoyed American Dad for a while. I grew out of Family Guy after season 5 or whatnot.
I mean, I wouldn't say I grew out of it. I mean, they don't put as many new episodes out anymore.
It's gotten really bad to me. It's become so juvenile that it's not even entertaining anymore.
Yeah, I mean, when was it? Ah! He faked me. When was it ever really like the mature man's comedy?
It was never mature man's comedy, but it's gotten to the point where it's like, oh, you know how we're gonna do that? Stewie's gonna pee in Brian's mouth. Ha! Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
That's so great. Oh, Stewie's gonna just try and make a pass at Brian every episode. Ha! That's great.
You're right. It's kind of fallen into itself.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Next time, I'm gonna do a little montage video of me trying to beat this, so you get to hear all my fucks. I mean, we're not monetized anymore, so fuck it, right? Fuck.
Yeah, why not? I mean, we might start cleaning up when we get monetized again in about 4 years.
Fuck no. See you guys next time. Beep bop boop. I think if I go to montage, I'll be able to do it because I'll have less to focus on.
Yeah, you won't have to talk. You'll just be able to beat it.
Yeah.
And then after
Watch it be like the first episode in the montage. It's like, God damn it!
Probably.
Watch it. You know what? I bet it won't be the first. It'll probably be the last one I do that I beat him.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably that one.